our text analysis part 3, and we're still talking about the central idea paragraph. Now, this is what I did. I figure if I'm gonna want you to write a central idea paragraph, I should probably show you a central idea paragraph. So I wrote one, and if I haven't told you this by now, I guess I'll tell you now. We won't be, all right, let me rephrase that. You won't be writing your text analysis on St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves. I will give you a whole new story. It'll be I think it's a 1.5 page story. And I'm doing that because you're gonna wanna find quotes to prove your central idea, and St. Lucy's it's a little long for that purpose. So I have a really good 1.5 page story that I'm gonna throw your way. You're gonna see it on Friday, all right? But in the meantime, if I'm gonna be asking you to write a paragraph about a central idea, you should probably see what one looks like. So I wrote one. In fact, I used one of the central ideas that I threw at you guys yesterday. I chose the change brings stress central idea. So what I did is I wrote a whole paragraph with change brings stress as the central idea of St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves. I got 2 pieces of evidence. What I did is I looked at the rubric that I'm gonna grade yours on. So on the doc, that's called Color Code Central Idea Paragraph, you'll see the paragraph that I wrote, and above that, there are 6 things that I'm gonna want you to highlight different colors. Just use the same highlight colors that I used. It's pretty straightforward. And what I'm gonna ask you to do is to go to the doc and highlight the different things that are included. All right, let's go through them in order. I based these on what I'm gonna ask you to include in your central idea. So the first thing I'm asking for in terms of what you're gonna supply to a paragraph, and maybe the first thing you should look to highlight in red, would be the hook. And that's something to get my reader interested in the rest of the paragraph. Now, I knew I was going to be writing this paragraph on change bringing stress, so my hook just needs to address that idea in a kind of a general kind of way. So find the hook in the paragraph that I wrote and highlight it in red. The second thing that I included in my central idea paragraph is a real short summary, Do not make the paragraph simply a summary of the short story. It's not gonna work for you. I've seen people make this mistake before. Don't be one of them. But this section is gonna take you a sentence or 2. You're gonna give me the author, you're gonna give me the title, and you're gonna give me a summary of the story, which is no longer than 2 sentences. If you can cut it down to 1, even better. What this does is it provides some context for your reader. So take a look at my paragraph for the summary that includes those 3 items and highlight that in orange. Next up is I have my central idea stated. And I don't want you to try to jazz this up and make it sound any extra special. Make it simple, make it straightforward. Have the term, the central idea of whatever story it is, and then boom. I'm, of course, going with change brings stress. So when you find where I state my central idea in that paragraph, highlight that in yellow. Next up is evidence. And hey, do you remember we talked about pancakes and evidence? Remember going to a diner for breakfast, and if you got 2 pancakes, that's really good. If you got 3, but if the third one is just kind of thrown on there, then like, never mind, keep it at 2. But 1 pancake, never enough, never satisfying. Remember that? Same deal here. All right, I got 2 quotes directly from St. Lucy's, providing evidence that change brings stress. And so look for them in my paragraph, look for those 2 quotes, highlight those in green. Next up, of course, is analysis of those quotes. That's where I'm going to be talking about the quotes that I grabbed. And I'll let you know right now, analysis doesn't have to only follow the quote. You could have some before and some afterwards. In fact, that's what I do for one of my quotes in that paragraph that I wrote that I want you to color code. So I want you to go through the paragraph and I want you to highlight in blue my analysis of those quotes that I brought in. Finally, the concluding sentence, that mic drop moments where I want to end the paragraph with some style. If there's one thing I'm considered an expert on, it's style. Anyway, you could probably guess where the concluding sentence of my paragraph is. Highlighted in purple. If you're done highlighting, make sure you submit this so I could take a quick look at it and give you some points for your work. And then keep it in a safe spot. Did you make those folders like we talked about early in first quarter? Did you make them? Oh, if you haven't, it's never too late to make new folders. In fact, have you made a quarter two folder yet? Perhaps you should. Anyway, keep this somewhere that you can use it to reference because when I ask you to write your central idea paragraph on an upcoming story, you can use this as an example of what you should do, and you can maximize the points that you get for that essay because that's going to be big, big, big points. Big points. Big points. Big points. So if you were highlighting the whole time with us, great, you might be good to go by now. If you're going to be one of those people that you watch the video and then go highlight stuff, well, now's the time to go highlight. Tomorrow, we'll start talking about that second paragraph, the literary term paragraph of a text analysis. And just to plant a couple ideas in your head for tomorrow, remember all the projects we did with getting tattooed? And like we never got tattooed, but you know, we talked about like St. Lucy's tattoos and stuff. We'll be connecting with that stuff again tomorrow. All right, so we'll check you again tomorrow. See you later.